Welcome back to Wealth Wednesday on Good Morning LaLa Land. I'm so excited to welcome our next guest. He's a personal friend. He's an Amazon best-selling author, Jerry Ford. Welcome to the show, brother.
So nice to meet you. Guns, drugs, or wealth? Which one do you guys want?
That is the question.
It's an incredible title. Where did the story begin for you?
You know, it's funny because originally the title was something else, not interesting. And then I was reading one of Robert Greene's books, Multiple Streams of Income. And he said, I want you to take your book title and I want you to place it next to your favorite books. And I want you to honestly pick which one would you read. And when I placed my original title next to all the other titles, I said, I need a new title.
He's a master for sure. So tell us about wealth and what is your definition of wealth?
So first of all, wealth, people get it a little confused sometimes, but wealth is not how much you make, right? It's how much you accumulate. And this book is about how me as a personal trainer built wealth through real estate, stocks, and smart spending. But I tell it as a personal trainer, and I tell it in layman's terms as more of a porch casual conversation.
So I'm wondering, though, at what point, how much money did you have before you thought, I can now start investing? Because so many people think like, oh, $500 wouldn't be enough. 5,000 isn't enough. 20,000 isn't enough. I need real money so I can invest it into the market.
Well, I slowly built my asset portfolio just by the year. So I had this, I used to work for a gym, and then I left the gym, and that's when it hit me. I have this really wealthy client who's a one percenter. And one day I woke up and I called him and I said, how did you make as much as you did? Because a lot of people can make $1 million, but this guy has made over $1 billion. And I was like, how did you do that? And he said, okay, when you're in town again, let's meet. I said, I'm on my way to New York.
They're waiting for you.
Right now, you know? And from there, he said, you know what? I think you need to educate yourself, so read. And then from there, I bought my first property. I rented out the tenants as passive income, and I used that money, that passive income, to reinvest. And then at the same time, I was building a portfolio in the stock market. And at the same time, I was educating myself and reading as much as I possibly can so that I can build my assets, reinvest all the profits without killing myself and going on a ramen noodle diet.
I've been there.
But that's what it takes, you know?
Sometimes you gotta eat those top ramen noodles. It's not fun. Makes you appreciate the wealth when it comes.
Yeah.
So now, I know that he teaches, and I'm sure you do as well, you can buy assets and accumulate assets without any money. You could become the person that is the worker, that's finding the deals, that's doing the fixer up or whatever it is, right? So tell us a little bit about that. Did you do any of that along the way?
So actually, I didn't, only because I was a bit greedy and I wanted to own 100% of the assets, in this case the properties, and I wanted to have 100% of the profits and reinvest those profits. But there's a section in my book where I talk about buying property with OPM, and that's basically
other people's money.
Yeah, other people's money. And that's it's basically finding a deal, and I use an example. I use an example to where someone can find a deal and someone can put the down payment down, and then the person who puts the mortgage under their name don't have to put the money down, and then they can reap the tax benefits, which a lot of people don't realize what kind of tax benefits you can reap. They can reap the tax benefits, and then at the end of the deal, they can negotiate maybe like a hedge fund split, which is like a 20-80 split. And the person who doesn't put any money down can get 20% of nothing, which can be a lot or a little.
But one thing I think is interesting, because you are a trainer and obviously you're very good at that. Someone could also build the asset of a company that actually is a brand that eventually could be sold off as franchises. It could be a company that goes public. It could be a company that you sell off. Like, there's so many other ways. If someone's reading your book, real estate's one way, but there's many other way of assets. Do you get into that at all?
There's many other ways, but the main three things that I touch on is real estate being one. I touch on the stock market as having a decent portfolio, and then I touch on how to build your own company, because people who build their own companies are 4 times more likely to become a millionaire than people working for a Fortune 500 company.
So take us back, though. The book is titled Guns, Drugs, or Wealth.
Correct.
What are you going to say to the guys in Detroit, the women in Detroit who are stuck in guns and drugs?
Well, one, I think this is an option, right? I think everything starts with yourself. So it's titled Guns, Drugs, or Wealth because I'm from the projects of Detroit. So growing up, I had a choice, right? I had a choice to choose guns, drugs, or wealth. And although I've been through all three of these titles, first it starts with the mind, right? And then after you decide which one you want, and then you can start on a path of wealth. But first it starts with the mind, and then anybody can educate themselves, right, to get on the path of wealth or the billionaire track, as I mentioned in my book.
And it's, one of the things, so of course I met Jerry when he was training. He's not just a trainer, he's a celebrity personal trainer. I mean, you had top-notch clients, and one of the things I love about you right away was this, you got this huge, incredible smile. He's like the most personable guy. And, he's incredibly resilient too, which I wasn't aware of for the longest time until we started talking. So, and I only want you to share what you feel comfortable about.
Yeah.
But you were very young and you went through some very horrific experiences. And so you getting to this place where you are now, Amazon bestseller, and sort of having accumulated all this wealth, it's a story I think people want to hear a little bit around. So could you share a little bit about that, some of the things that you've sort of been through that have gotten you to this place where you're, so now sort of committed to?
Definitely, and I don't have a problem sharing because I think that every moment brings you to the next, But I'm from the projects of Detroit, and the first traumatic experience of my life was my brother was murdered on my mom's birthday. And after that, I think I realized that I really needed to do something with my life. And literally right after that, my best friend was murdered, and I actually witnessed this. And it's so hard for people in different areas in the world, especially Detroit and south side of Chicago, because people are a product of their environment. And a lot of people say, oh, just do better, but people can only decide to survive or cave into the experiences, which is very easy. So that happened, but one of my outlets was martial arts. I did martial arts. I trained 7 days a week. I had a traditional martial arts instructor who was nuts, right? But
and you won some gold medals for that.
Yeah, I'm a 4-time gold medalist in the Junior Olympics.
Wow.
And all of those experiences made me just want to really get out and really survive. And I always say that if somebody wants success, like they need to breathe, eventually they'll get it. So I feel like all those moments brought me to where I am today.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we truly believe that our greatest triumphs are what become our calling. And so thank you for listening to the call and giving so much value and service back to people around the world. So
Yeah. If you got $5,
yeah.
you'll get a coffee or something. Thanks so much.
Well,
for
tell
joining us.
everyone where they can find you, where they can work with you.
They can find the book and myself on Instagram at Real Jerry Ford, and Twitter at Real Jerry Ford. And the book, Guns, Drugs, or Wealth, is on Amazon, it's on audible.com, it's on iTunes, it's everywhere.
Nice.
So,
Thank you, Real
Thank you
Jerry
so
Ford.
much.
We appreciate it. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.